I made the best universe mode, but it's 1990 and SummerSlam is upon us. Will I be able to make it better than the original? Let's find out. Week 1 kicks off with a tag team match between the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart of the Hart Foundation and the former champions Crush and Smash from Demolition. Crush and Jim Neidhart started the match, with Crush dominating the early beginning of the bout. However, after making a mistake in the corner, Jim was able to regain control of the match. Now the tag team champions were in control against Demolition. Bret was tagged into the match and executed a Russian leg sweep on Crush. However, as he attempted to guide Crush into the corner, Crush managed to reverse the situation and delivered a powerful boot to Bret's chest. Crush then tagged in Smash, and together, they executed a double team move on Bret. The current champions found themselves on the receiving end of a beating from the former tag team champions. But after bouncing off the ropes, Bret was able to turn things around, regaining control of the match once again. In the end, Bret executed the sharpshooter submission move, forcing Smash to submit and securing the victory for his team. The tag team champions prevailed against Demolition in this tag team bout. In the second match of the night, we witnessed Earthquake facing off against the Big Boss Man in a singles match. The bell rings and the match begins. Earthquake tries to use his size to dominate, but Big Boss Man counters with his experience and tactical approach. This is a classic matchup of power versus strategy. Earthquake, the man who's known for causing havoc, is up against the Big Boss Man's order and discipline. Look at Big Boss Man using his experience as a former correctional officer. He knows how to handle tough opponents, but can he handle the sheer force of Earthquake? Earthquake's showing why he's one of the most feared superstars in the WWF. His strength is just overwhelming. And there you have it. Earthquake claims victory, but what a fight put up by the Big Boss Man. In the third match of the night, we witnessed Jake the Snake Roberts going one-on-one against Bad News Brown. Jake was dominating the early portion of the match, but after a counter by Bad News Brown, Roberts lost control of the match. It was now Bad News Brown who was in control, dominating Roberts. But after Bad News Brown sent himself with nobody home, Jake Roberts regained control. By the way, if you've been enjoying these Universe Mode series, please remember to like the video and follow us. Back in the match, Jake was focused on targeting Bad News Brown's leg, attempting to weaken him with a sleeper hold submission move. However, Brown had some bad news for Roberts. He managed to escape the hold and retaliated by punishing Jake the Snake Roberts with a back suplex. At this point, Brown was determined to finish the match and hit Jake with his signature move. Roberts, however, countered with an elbow strike and swiftly executed the DDT to secure the victory. Now Jake has earned an opportunity to challenge the Intercontinental Champion at SummerSlam. Now it was time for the main event, featuring the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Champion, Mr. Perfect, going one-on-one against the World Wrestling Federation Champion, the Ultimate Warrior, in a non-title singles match. Mr. Perfect, utilizing his pure wrestling and technical abilities, managed to take the champion down in the match. Hennig focused on targeting the legs of the Ultimate Warrior to gain an advantage in this blockbuster match featuring the two most prominent champions in the World Wrestling Federation, as the fans would often say. The Ultimate Warrior managed to make a comeback in the match, but once again, Hennig demonstrated his awareness by countering every move from the champion, effectively adapting to the intense wrestling style of the Ultimate Warrior. But in a sudden move, the Ultimate Warrior was able to turn things around and punish the Intercontinental Champion, Curt Hennig, with a gorilla press drop. To put the cherry on top, Warrior followed up with the Ultimate Splash to secure the victory in this blockbuster main event match. But out of nowhere, Rick Rude entered the ring and struck Warrior from behind while he was celebrating with the fans. Rude then proceeded to deliver a devastating pile driver to the Ultimate Warrior. But Hulk Hogan was there to make the save, removing Rude from the ring and coming to the rescue of the World Wrestling Federation champion, the Ultimate Warrior, in the process. Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Rick Rude, and Earthquake are all set to clash at SummerSlam in a fatal four-way steel cage match for the WWF title. Week 2 kicked off with a singles match between Jake the Snake Roberts and Macho Man Randy Savage. Randy started the match strong, dominating Snake Roberts in the corner and then employing low tactics to further damage Roberts, including scratching his back. But I guess Macho Man Randy Savage got too comfortable, thinking he had Roberts in the bag, and that's when the Snake was able to counter one of Randy's moves, turning the tide and taking control of the match. Now it was Jake the Snake Roberts who had Macho Man Randy Savage trapped in the corner under his boot. However, this dominance was short-lived as Randy Savage countered one of Roberts' moves and regained control of the match. He followed up with a sequence that began with an inverted atomic drop and concluded with a clothesline. After delivering a spinning body slam, Randy Macho Man Savage climbed to the top rope and executed his signature move, the elbow drop, to secure the victory over Jake the Snake Roberts. In the second match of the night, we witnessed one half of the Rockers, Shawn Michaels, making his way to the ring to face one half of the tag team champions, representing the Hart Foundation and competing solo without Jim Bret Hart. Look at these two go. Michaels is all about the sizzle, the flash, the excitement. Hart, on the other hand, is the embodiment of technical wrestling, all about the steak, the substance. This is what WWF is all about: heart, passion, skill, and a burning desire to be the best. Michaels and Hart are putting on a clinic out there. This is a fascinating contrast of styles: Shawn's flamboyance and agility against Bret's technical expertise and strategic mindset. As the match reached its climax, Bret Hart demonstrated why he is considered one of the best wrestlers coming up in 1990. Bret was attempting to finish the match with the sharpshooter, but as he was about to lock it in, Michaels managed to escape the submission hold. Michaels then tried for a super kick, but Bret dodged it. Now Bret once again went for the sharpshooter submission hold, and this time he successfully applied it. Bret Hart emerges the winner of this intense, fast-paced match between two of the top young talents on the World Wrestling Federation roster. In the third match of the night, we witnessed Crush from Demolition facing off against Road Warrior Animal from the Legion of Doom. Crush started the match, attempting to crush Road Warrior Animal, pun intended, but Animal quickly evaded his moves. However, Crush managed to send Animal to the floor after landing a powerful blow to the top of his head. Crush then attempted a gorilla press slam, but Animal fought back, delivering a pair of crushing elbows, pun intended again. Animal went for a suplex, lifting the big man high above his head. As Animal looked to hit Crush with a clothesline, Crush lifted Animal up and dropped him against the ropes. Crush followed up with a tiger suplex and then attempted a military press drop, but Animal managed to escape while high in the air. Animal hoisted Crush onto his shoulder and executed a Samoan drop. Climbing to the top rope, Animal delivered a diving clothesline, securing the victory and defeating the big man. Now, it was time for the main event, where Rick Rude was set to go one-on-one against the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, in a singles match. This match was made because of what happened last week when Hogan saved Warrior from a beating courtesy of ravishing Rick Rude. Rude had Hulk Hogan in the corner, inflicting damage to the abdomen of the Hulkster. Then Rude changed his approach and started to focus on the throat of Hogan, putting his foot right on his throat, not allowing the Hulkster to breathe. It was very smart by Rude. He first targeted the ribs of Hogan, and then he tried to stop the air from reaching his lungs. Rude was definitely targeting the lungs of Hogan. But the Hulkster wasn't going to be outmatched in a contest of strength against ravishing Rick Rude. Hulk was determined to show Rude who the strongest competitor was here in the World Wrestling Federation. Unfortunately for the Hulkster, Rude got out of the move and hit Hogan with his signature move, the swinging neckbreaker. Rude tried to pin Hogan to finish the match, but Hogan kicked out at a count of 1. Now Hogan is taking control with a series of clotheslines. Hogan follows up with a body slam, gaining momentum as he bounces off the ropes. There it is. Hogan drops the leg drop to defeat Rick Rude and win this match. But after the match was over and Hogan had already defeated Rude, Earthquake unleashed a savage attack on the Hulkster, hitting him with everything but the kitchen sink. With Hogan down on the mat, Earthquake aimed to break his ribs with an Earthquake splash. That's when the World Wrestling Federation champion, the Ultimate Warrior, came rushing to the ring to save Hogan. Warrior went right through Earthquake like a powerful train and got him out of the ring. Hogan then met with the Ultimate Warrior in the center of the ring. Considering that Hogan is set to face Warrior in a steel cage match at SummerSlam, did Warrior take too long to come to Hogan's aid? Week 3 kicked off with the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Champion Curt Hennig facing off against the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. The match started with the classic sequence of drop down and leapfrog, but as Dusty was bouncing back, he struck Hennig with an elbow to the head of the champion. However, as Curt rested in the corner, Dusty attempted to hit him with a running body splash, but Hennig evaded it. Now on the mat, the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Champion worked on the leg of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Hennig continued his attack, delivering a massive back suplex to Rhodes. Mr. Perfect then attempted the Perfect Plex to finish the match. But Dusty made a comeback, countering the move and surprising Hennig with a dropkick of his own. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, followed up with a body slam and a running elbow, concluding with a series of elbows to the head to win the match, defeating the Intercontinental Champion in the process. Coming up next, a battle of tag team specialists in singles action. From the Rockers, it's Marty Jannetty going one-on-one with one half of the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, Jim Neidhart of the Hart Foundation. Matty was really taking control of the match after hitting a solid drop kick on Jim, and the crowd was getting into it. At the same time, Jannetty tried a high-flying move with a diving splash from the second rope, but Jim dodged it. Things were heating up as Jim started giving Matty a real beating, just pounding away. But just when it looked like Jim was about to finish it, Matty pulled off an awesome counter move and sealed the deal with his own finishing move, and the fans went wild. With this win, the Rockers and the Hart Foundation were all tied up in victories, setting the stage for an epic showdown at SummerSlam. Now, it was time for the main event, featuring Earthquake going one-on-one against the World Wrestling Federation champion, the Ultimate Warrior. This match was set up after Warrior tossed Earthquake out of the ring last week to save Hulkster from a beating. Warrior tried to take Earthquake down, but this time Earthquake didn't budge. And it was the World Wrestling Federation champion who fell at the feet of Earthquake. Earthquake inflicted a lot of pain on the Ultimate Warrior. However, when Earthquake attempted a second body splash, nobody was home as the Ultimate Warrior got out of harm's way. Now it was Warrior hitting Earthquake repeatedly. This time, Warrior made the big man fall after delivering a massive flying tackle. Without wasting any time, as Earthquake was down, the Ultimate Warrior hit him with an ultimate splash to win the match. It was an astonishing victory, and Warrior pulled it off seemingly out of nowhere. But after the match ended, Rick Rude came to the ring and blindsided the Ultimate Warrior. Then, Earthquake joined Rick Rude, and together they began to pummel the World Wrestling Federation champion. Rude even executed his signature move on Warrior. That's when Hulk Hogan came charging down to the ring to save the Ultimate Warrior. Hogan clotheslined Earthquake, then clotheslined Rude, and followed up with a thunderous body slam on Earthquake. He dropped the leg on him, brother. Rude attempted to attack Hogan from behind, but Hogan countered, and Rude also found himself on the receiving end of a body slam. Out of nowhere, the Ultimate Warrior delivered the ultimate splash on Rude. Hulkamania and the Ultimate Warrior stood tall tonight, setting the stage for an insane, fatal four-way steel cage match at SummerSlam. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, it was time for the hottest event of the summer, as well as a chance to see if we could create a better SummerSlam than the original. The opening match at SummerSlam was for the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Championship, with Jake the Snake Roberts challenging Curt Hennig for the title. The atmosphere in the arena was electric as fans eagerly awaited this long-anticipated clash. As the bell rang, both wrestlers brought their A-game, exchanging high-impact moves and near falls, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats. Jake the Snake Roberts emerged victorious after countering a perfect plex into a DDT to secure the win, finally claiming his first championship in the WWF. By the way, did you know that Roberts never won any title in the WWF? Well, we just gave him one, and it was a momentous start to SummerSlam. In the second match of the night, the crowd eagerly anticipated the clash as Crush and Smash, representing Demolition, faced off against the formidable Legion of Doom, Road Warrior, Animal, and Hawk in an explosive tag team showdown. The Legion of Doom emerged victorious after Animal and Hawk executed their signature Doomsday device, a resounding move that made the crowd pop and solidified their dominance at SummerSlam. In the third match of the night, we saw the former tag team of Andre the Giant and Haku going one-on-one against each other. Andre won the match after hitting Haku with his signature maneuver. In the original SummerSlam card, this match did not happen, as many of the matches we are seeing tonight. But hey, I did say I was going to try and make it better. In the fourth match of the night, we witnessed the Rockers facing off against the Hart Foundation for the tag team championships. The Hart Foundation emerged victorious as Matty submitted to the sharpshooter submission hold applied by Bret Hart, allowing them to retain the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship belts. In the fifth match of the night, we witnessed Macho Man Randy Savage facing off against the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. After Savage missed with the flying elbow drop, Dusty was able to execute his signature move on Savage, securing the victory. Interestingly, this match actually did happen in the original SummerSlam card. Now it was time for the main event, where the champion, the Ultimate Warrior, put his World Wrestling Federation Championship on the line inside a steel cage in a fatal four-way match against Hulk Hogan, Earthquake, and Rick Rude. The Ultimate Warrior emerged victorious by successfully escaping the cage, thus retaining the World Wrestling Federation title. The atmosphere in the arena was absolutely electric as fans witnessed this high-stakes battle unfold, with every twist and turn keeping them on the edge of their seats. The Ultimate Warrior's triumph marked a memorable conclusion to an unforgettable SummerSlam. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to share it with your friends. Also, remember to comment and let us know which year or what-if scenario from the past you'd like to see next.